know the genesis of how technologies emerge, then that gives you an impetus to do further research. There are 213 countries in the world, and all of them don't have the same natural resources, nor do they have the same manufacturing abilities. So if we really understand what is our core competence, if you put your time and focus on it and understand the demand and the need, it can be created.
Welcome to TYCOONS, the story about legacy brands. This is Insightful with me, Rohan Thakar, and welcome to another great episode. I have with me Dr. Vivek Mendonsa, with whom we have been conversing for the last 2-3 episodes. We have been conversing about life, we have been conversing about his journey and how he and his family have built a legacy for one of the most foremost opticians and fashion wear in the eye space. We have seen Lawrence and Mayo as a brand synonymous with the optics industry, the fashion industry as well, bringing in the latest fashion in eyewear and pushing the envelope further with its innovation and its also services. But something that is not known about the group is that they have an engineering division. They are doing a lot of great innovation in the technology space, not the software space that you have always heard about, but the hardware, which has impacted so many lives, working with government, working with the infrastructure of our country. And I'm really curious to know that on one side, Lawrence and Mayo Group is known for its eyewear, and on the other end, which is an extreme side of the spectrum, from something that is so fragile to something that is so humongous in operation.
Right.
What is the story behind Lynx and from eyewear to this side? Where did it all begin?
Right. So Rohan, I always, whenever I interact with you, your memory is so sharp. The small nuggets of information which I have given you in the various conversations, you remember, and you can weave it in a beautiful carpet together. So I really admire that in you.
Thank you.
So if you actually see the genesis of Lawrence and Mayo has been a company in optics, and it started its roots in Shaftesbury Avenue in London, in Chancery Lane in London, and simultaneously in Calcutta, 147 years ago, to quote, established in 1877. Now the engineering instruments which we use were simple instruments like dumpy level.
What is that?
Dumpy level is used by the civil construction people to level roads and to get, today if your roads across the world are all in a straight line because they use dumpy levels and theodolites for construction. So there is no waviness, the contours of the road remained uniform. And so there was optics is there. It was an arrangement of lenses which was used. Slowly over a period of time, those first generation equipment. Today, if you see the fourth generation, we are in an industrial revolution, the fourth generation, 4.0 as we call it.
Yes.
So it is the word electronics has come in. So the word optics has changed to optical, and the word optical has become smaller. We are in these acronym words. So it's become opto and electronics.
Okay.
And there's one more new word which has emerged, is geomatic. When I say, we say geography, we know it's all about the world and landmass, rivers, lakes, mountains, snow and other things. So geomatics, matics is like informatics. So a combination of 2-3 words have been created. Unfortunately, because these are not commonplace words, Webster and other dictionaries have already included these words. They've come together. So our company never really strayed away. We were into optics and arrangement of lenses, and then the requirements of whether it was war, World War I or World War II, we were suppliers to it. And we are not happy with the innocent lives which were lost, but it was a business, and orders were placed by the British Army and British government on us, and we had to produce right from periscopes, telescopes, binoculars and various instruments for the army, which were shipped abroad and to various parts of the world where the war was being fought. And as you know, Indian soldiers also went and represented India during World War I and World War II. So our company has always been in these two divisionals. In the optics, we are known for our precision eye tests, for our having our own units of processing our own lenses, and as well as we were into the watches as well as fine jewelry, where we did a combination much before our time, where the Maharajas and Maharanis would their jewel stones or family stones were used to embellish the eyewear which they wore. Of course, nowadays getting a watch studded with diamonds and precious stones is very common. But in those days, it was to cause a distinction or to cause an identity that yes, we are privileged lot and come from a certain background, and this is what we wear, or the house colors. It's like being in a school or college where you have certain house colors, so stones which are precious. So engineering, we divided in that word. Instruments has now again got divided into three words. There's engineering, there's instruments, and there's equipment. And we don't produce everything ourselves and manufacture things. Some we assemble, some we trade, because it's too vast and large. We have got 1,500, minimum 1,500 products, and they are covering 6 verticals. So let me just share with you, Rohan, the 6 verticals. We have our land surveying instruments. So this is used basically by independent surveyors. Like you know, when a plumber comes to your house, maybe you have not got the most educated or qualified, but plumbers also have a license. To be a plumber in any part of the world, you have to have a license. An electric contractor has to have a license.
Not in India.
No, it's very much true. If you ask them, they do have a license, and some of them have gone to formal schools. So to be a land surveyor, you need to have a license, and government conducts an exam. And it's called a land surveyor license. So you use sophisticated instruments to measure land. It could be agricultural land, it could be non-agricultural, it could be industrial land. Anytime a transaction is taking place between A and B, or B and C. So we have something which is typically in Marathi what we call 7/12 documents. 7/12 extract. And in that it gives you the measurements. So many people, those documents were done many years ago, and to check the authenticity of it. And what is actually on paper is that our same land available today, or has someone encroached into your land. So to measure between the documents, the old legal documents, and the actual land you are buying or selling, our instruments are used by land surveyors and site contractors to do it. Our instruments are used also in designing boundary walls. Our instruments are used in the expressways. So we have been involved with infrastructure projects all across the country, be it Bharat Nangal Dam, building construction of so many dams, expressway projects, metro railway projects, all across. In Mumbai, since we are sitting in Mumbai, JJ flyover done maybe about 20-25 years ago, or the Konkan Railway done 29 years ago, or the Bandra-Worli CAE link where we supplied equipment to Hindustan Construction to do the global positioning coordinate points. So our equipment has been used.
Can you just take us through like what kind of process was used by your equipment?
So it is because the Arabian Sea was there, right? It's grey and it's dull water. Exactly with the town planners, they would actually measure the bed of the sea and see wherever there was rock, and where would they put the pillars of which hold the Bandra-Worli ceiling together. So all these instruments above our country, many people are not aware. If we feel there's a traffic jam in Mumbai, there's a traffic jam. We have 2,000 satellites over India. And that is how our mobile connections and all work, and Google Maps work. They can give you real-time predictions of when you're going to reach which place in how much time, and prediction of the traffic and obstacles, whether a tree has fallen, or there is a traffic jam, or there has been an accident on the road. So 2,000 satellites over major countries over the world actually give us a microsecond precision of that technology. And our company uses those same GPS, global positioning systems, to help town planners, in the smart city projects, in planning all the infrastructure of our country. Rohan, but it's really sad to say, I may be very happy with this technology and the progress of our company, but today with a mass number of students moving towards bachelor in computer application, there's been a huge drop in civil engineers in our country, and that's shocking, disturbing, and it's not really good, because the government of India, Honorable Prime Minister Shri Nitin Gadkari, has been doing so much to improve the infrastructure in our country. We are building more than about 35 kilometers per day. At one time we were as low as 6 and 8 kilometers a day. So there's huge transformation happening. Money is being easily available. All the cement companies are doing well. All the bitumen manufacturing companies are doing well. But we don't have enough of hands and legs on deck. And I know it's we have also seen in the last 15-20 years a lot of girls also enter the civil engineering, but it is minuscule and we need much more. So definitely I would urge the career guidance people listening to this talk show to reconsider, because already we are seeing computer application with AI, ML. There's a drop in recruitment, drop in salaries, and not enough people entering. There's oversupply in that industry. There are a lot of sunrise industries or in brownfield industries which have definitely an opportunity.
No, absolutely. And I'm glad that you brought this point. Like, I was reading, more than 15 lakh students who of engineering are not finding job. And civil engineering, definitely, like you said, is an opportunity. But why is it not being seen as an opportunity? Like 15 lakh plus is not a small number for our country.
I think there's a lack of awareness. Today, a civil engineer works more with technology than with cement. So let me break one myth. They are doing AutoCAD. You need really a good desktop and a huge screen over there. You got the BIM software, which is your building information management software, which is there, which is again software and technology. So there is a prejudice in the minds of people that if I wear a yellow helmet and go to a site, that I'm an inferior person. But I think I have met some of the best architects and town planners of the world, not only in India. And when they point and say, this project, I worked on this project, my respect for them or mutual admiration for them goes skyrocket. To build an airport or to build a bridge or build a housing complex, and which is going to be around for 70, 80 years or maybe 100 plus years, using the best technology and material we have today, itself is leaving a legacy.
Absolutely.
Right. I remember I stayed near the Chartered Accountant Institute in Kafpred, and that was inaugurated by YB Chavan, our first Chief Minister of Maharashtra. And the Bombay-Pune Expressway has been named after YB Chavan because he was the architect of modern Maharashtra. So these are the legacies you leave behind. And great. So I would definitely urge the parents and the students to really take up BE Civil, to really take up this youth scope, and to go to a construction site is so much fun. When I went to a metro site more than 200 feet down, it was at Opera House, itself was a great experience. In fact, Rohan, you'll be shocked. Do you think I met only Indians there? I met, there were Russian workers who were also working there, because one of the companies doing that particular project is a Russian company. Right. And the people don't know in Mumbai that various international people have been involved in building a metro rail, and we are grateful to the Japanese government, JICA, for giving us huge amount of funds, and to our Honorable Deputy Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis to travel regularly to Japan and bring these funds for us, and the long-term view which they're having. So it's really exciting being in infrastructure space. We have drones now, Rohan, which is really exciting. We have 300 drone startups in our country. And some time ago, about a year and a half, you could bring a drone from anywhere, and because of the spying and the espionage, the government had to control the drones. So only Indian made drones are being allowed to be freely used. The IMU chip in that has to be properly registered on the DigiSky platform, And obviously they have to know what all is happening, who's flying the drones, and it's a security hazard. All the modern wars now are being fought with drones.
Absolutely. And also a big issue of privacy as well for the civilians.
Yes.
It's very interesting, like you said, when it comes to technology, software is not just one, where all the world's attention is.
Yes.
We see technology, we sync it with software, but there's a world of change happening around, and it's the applications of technology that will help humanity move forward.
Right.
Lynx also has an institute that is training people to be more capable, to able to take advantage of the technology and be future leaders of the technology. What is that you are doing to equip the youth today?
Right. So I like to talk, we are about 29 months away from our 150th year. We have identified a few centers of excellence, COE as we call, for the land surveying to encourage future BE civil. In existing colleges, we have got a very positive note from some colleges in Kolhapur as well as in Sangli and Pune, and I'm sure from Mumbai, where they have already approached us. They heard about the center of excellence where we'll take about 5,000 to 7,000 square feet. We will put all the latest equipment there, including having some of the prehistoric equipment, so that the students will appreciate how the technology is emerged. When you know the genesis of how technology is emerged, then that gives you an impetus to do further research. Like the MBB speed, first we used to talk in KB, now we are talking about in MB speed, right?
GBPS
so, and yes, GBPS now, exactly. So material management is our next vertical. Studying material, be it bitumen, cement, sand, mortar, cement. What is the parts? Every time you have a leakage, you don't have to break the wall. There is technology to X-ray, to scan walls, to use laser and find out where the cracks are. Even when you have a part, which is a part of a machinery, you don't always have to break that part to know the inner strength of it. So there is non-destructive testing. Which is itself is a large subject. Then a third division of ours is into weather monitoring station, which if I use the technical word, it's called hydrometeorology. So, meteorology department is known. Every day in our newspapers, we get sun, moon and tides, maximum temperature, maximum rainfall, minimum. So we have got in Santa Cruz a unit which gives us our weather forecast. We have one at Kulaba Observatory. There are more than 300 agricultural colleges across India, and they are training students. It's not just farmers' children who join these agricultural institutes. There are a lot of city kids who are very got a passion for agriculture. So we installed weather stations there. We have also got some tie-ups. We have erected more than 256 weather stations in schools in Kerala, where they're making it a part of the curriculum. So why should the students just see some template in a textbook? Why can't they actually see what is a wind vane and what is a solar sunshine recorder and other instruments which are there? And today there are so many apps where if you travel abroad, in London they can tell you exactly at 4:16 in the evening it's going to rain. And at 4:16 itself, it will start drizzling and raining. So it is so precise. So that is our third division. Our fourth division is all about analytical instruments, which are used in laboratories and pathological setups and hospitals all across India. We are supplying to about 6,300 hospitals where they are existing customers and clients of Lawrence Mayo. We have to go and service those equipment. Because of our tropical weather conditions, these instruments which have got optics and electronics in it, the lenses get fungus in it. You've got some beautiful cameras, high-end cameras here like Lumix. These lenses have to be always taken care of. You have to pack it in a box with silica gel which will absorb the moisture in it. So, having the latest gadget but not knowing how to look after it. And I always have a anti-static cloth with me, and once in 2-3 days I take time to disconnect my mobile, and clean it and clean the optics and everything, and just put the dust cover back. and then it will work well. And so many times new updates come from the software, which we need to do, and you need a good Wi-Fi to do it. Our fifth range is basically our scientific instruments, where we represent Carl Zeiss in a limited range of products. We have Meiji, which is a Japanese brand. So a very interesting story I want to share with you. We got that agency about 14 years ago, and thanks to Mr. K.N. Dattatreya, who's now retired from Lawrence Mayo, our senior general manager. But the agency was lying with another company in Chennai, and they were not able to give them. We gave them 55,000 yen worth of business, flew at our cost to Tokyo, spent about 7-8 days in their factory in with white coats and overalls, learnt and worked on their instruments, and they were so pleased with our enthusiasm they gave us the agency. And it's a very high-end microscopes which are there. Our microscopes are used by Qualcomm in Bangalore to see the chips in a mobile handset, especially when you drop your mobile in carelessly in a puddle of water in the rain, or it goes over a motorbike, and they actually examine the damage to the Qualcomm chip. So our products are used. So we are a B2G brand, a business to government, or a B2B brand, very silent, working in the background, but our work is doing. And our last vertical, which was created about 14 or 15 years ago, was the vision of my father, Robert Mendonsa, who's chairman of Lawrence and Mayo. And he currently is 93 years of age, but in the last 20 years he didn't travel as much as he may wanted to, but he read all the trade magazines, and he prompted me and Mr. Glenford D'Souza, and of course now Mr. Giridhar, who's looking after that vertical, to start something called vocational skills. So vocational skill training. So when you talked about the 15 lakh engineers, they are unemployable or cannot be employed, is because it is a vicious cycle. Their parents have put them in good institutes or average institutes. The curriculum is not challenging, and the students have they have just studying for the sake of passing exams. They have not been doing it with passion. Right, because there's always an internship in a lot of engineering companies which is very open. In fact, many engineers their children don't become engineers, and I have noticed that. And when I talk to them, when interns come into Lawrence Mayo, every year we have about 30 to 35 interns coming to Lawrence Mayo across the country. And when the students are interested, I see a lot of my key managers taking a lot of time drawing out optics, explaining them how this instrument is put together, and deconstructing the instrument and putting it together. So the minute you got a hungry student, an enthusiastic student, a passionate student, I think the teacher automatically appears. And so these are the 6 verticals of Lynx-Lawrence Mayo. Many years ago, when I joined this division, I was in the optics division for about 25 years. I've been with the group for now over 32 years. I did something like what Rahul Gandhi has done now. I did a Pad Yatra, and of course LK Advani ji had also done across India, meeting the old standing clients of the engineering equipment and division of Lawrence and Mayo. And what I noticed was a great confusion in their mind, that they never knew whether we were coming from the spectacle division or contact lenses or sunglasses. That why we got, especially some of the new professors, some of the professors who had become HODs or senior professors, who were well aware of our microscopy and scientific division and other division, our civil engineering products. So we did a bold move with not too much of brainstorming. We separated the engineering equipment and instrumentation website, only the website, into a different identity and call it Lynx. Lynx comes from the cat family. Rohan, you should have asked me that question. So
I was coming to that.
Oh, sorry, I preempted. So it got very sharp eyes and very clear precision. So we always talk about the cheetah and the tiger and the leopard, but Lynx is from the cat family and is able to have very precise vision and clarity.
Yes.
including under foggy circumstances, snowing circumstances, or cloudy circumstances.
Okay.
So Lynx is called a sharp vision. That's how our company brand name is there. It is a brand name which has been right from the inception in the group, which is there. And Lynx Instruments. So we called our website Lynx and INST for instruments. That's short.com. And we moved our 1,500 instruments and 7 verticals of business in that website, giving it its own identity. So that's the unfolding story of the engineering equipment and instrumentation division. And we have over 78 engineers, full-time engineers in our company throughout the length and breadth of the company, and they are trained to deal in all the verticals of the product. Of course, we definitely have some product specialists, but they are all rounders, and for them that gives them a variety of technologies and products to work on.
Yeah. How do you ensure innovation in this space? Like software, we see that there's something new coming every time. In a hardware space, how do you take care of innovation? How do you look at the future of a product's life cycle?
So I would like to divide this answer into 2 parts. Is one, you take our land surveying instruments. Earlier, when it became Opto-Electronics or Geomatic engineering.
Yes.
It had buttons on the display things, and they had F1, F2, F3, F4, what we see in computers. It had a black and white screen. Over a period of time, because you're dealing with topography and land mass, so seeing it in color is definitely beneficial.
Yes.
So we put a screen on one side. Then over a period of time, we saw that 2-3 people are discussing, standing at the instrument, and they have to keep bending forward and looking over 2 shoulders. So we put a display on both the sides. Earlier it was just a DOS model. Then we took it into with a Microsoft. Now it is on the IS platform. So every year you'll be surprised. We don't make too much of a hue and cry about it, but new hardware comes out on a year-to-year basis. I think as coinciding as the Apple phone or new model of the phone,
yes,
new hardware comes out, and there are a lot of people. Even some of our instruments are out in the open, so they are used to extreme temperatures, weather conditions, and other things like that. And even if they fall down, they don't break today. Because a lot of our instruments on a tripod, and they have to talk to the satellites, high in the sky, and the precision is extremely important for them. When coming to microscopy, you asked about how are we innovating.
Yes.
So I think our team has observed a lot of the pathologists, when they have to see, say, 200, 300, 500 blood samples in a day, the ergonomics, the standing posture or sitting posture. So the tables have to be at a certain height.
Yes.
They're bending over and looking into the microscope eyepieces. If you are looking at 200 slides in a day or 400 slides in a day, you are bound to get a backache. Just a little below your shoulder blades, backache develops. So having the instrument at a really correct height, where they don't have to, bend too much. So ergonomics, even the way you have to press your hand on the table, adjust the dials, a lot of it is getting into feather touch. You can even insert a pen drive into the microscope, copy the live data, download it or Bluetooth it to your laptop. Teaching has become so amazing and different. So we have got digital classrooms. Earlier, in a class of 60, 80 or 110, all the students would crowd around the teacher to look at some slide. And, more than 85 or 90% of the students would not be able to see what the teacher was explaining about a particular virus or a particular germ. Today we have a digital classroom where it is projected live for the students to see. And today the software is connected so well that even if there are 60 microscopes in a class, the teacher can switch off her own microscope and see roll number 23, what exactly the student is seeing. So it's all a adaptation of technology, investing it and bringing the latest technology to our students.
Yes, that's brilliant. I wanted to come on the aspect of you being a marketer, you being creating and awareness about technology and optic products. you're taking care of both Lawrence and Mayo on the consumer side and Lynx on the B2B and B2G side. How is marketing different and branding, creating a brand different in both the aspects?
Yeah, so we are a large team. It's not me alone. We are about 10 directors in our company, and we have got large number of marketing people also who are specialists, and they're doing a fabulous job, and we are constantly learning and innovating. B2C is a different space. I think we've spoken about it in earlier episodes, but business to government is all about advocacy, right? I'll take you through the entire sales process so you'll understand it. Often government is not aware of the new technologies which are coming out, because technology, as I told you, every 12 months there's something new instrument, an X1 or X2 or X3 coming out. So a lot of time goes in advocacy. Whether you do it on a one-to-one basis, through seminars, conferences, through newspaper articles, trade journals, trade magazines. We would love to have more Instagrammers in our industry, which can make short reels, technical reels, and put it out. So educating the existing architects, town planners, doctors, research scholars, HODs on this is one aspect. The second aspect is giving them the technical specifications. So they want to know if an X1 model I have and an X4 model which you are proposing that I buy, what am I able to do better, faster, cheaper, more convenient? These are the 4 key words which actually come back, including sometimes a buyback of that old instrument, right? So once we are able to answer these questions, giving them the features, advantages and benefits, then comes spending time with the purchase committee, floating the specifications. Then there is, of course, a healthy competition in every industry. We have got plenty of competitors in our engineering, equipment and instrumentation business. So everyone is trying to say that my feature or my benefit is better than yours. And there is a healthy competition, sometimes unhealthy competition. We have got the huge government e-marketplace now, GEM. And I'm proud to share that Lawrence and Mayo got, Lynx-Lawrence got registered in it in 2014. Many people don't know, it was officially launched in 2015 and run by Tata Consultancy Services. So it's a fabulous piece of, I think it's an app and it's a software where anything above 10 lakhs, if the government wants to purchase, it has to buy it through the GEM portal.
Okay.
So that's done fabulously for the MSME industry, and people can really quote. And the entire Make in India and Made in India syndrome, which our Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji has announced and several ministers have announced, is definitely going to make our country self-reliant and self-dependent on ourselves. We can definitely become an export hub. And that is what we are working towards. So getting technology from Japan and China and from Europe and from America, I think it's high time. We have got produce the best scientists, research scholars, PhDs in our country. We can innovate, we can invent and come up with better products ourselves.
Yeah. And we are seeing it with Lynx happening today.
Yes.
We are also seeing a lot of brain drain which has been happening. Earlier it was a lot more. Today we are seeing a slight decline, and fortunately we are also seeing a lot of
reverse migration going on. Yes.
So but at the same time we are also seeing some key people who are HNIs today are migrating out of the country in the neighboring countries or in the Western Hemisphere as well. What kind of favorable conditions do we need to create India the hub of manufacturing supremacy?
So I think we are at the inflection point of really takeoff. Government has been talking about it. I have traveled to Germany a couple of year ago, and they had a made in Germany. I was read about in the US, they have a make in US or made in US. So each country, there are 213 countries in the world. And all of them don't have the same natural resources, nor do they have the same manufacturing abilities. So if we really understand what is our core competence, see, even the chips during lockdown, we had a shortage of chips. the Tata Group and number of groups are already manufacturing these chips that crippled the automobile industry. It affected us in our industry. So anything which is there, if you put your time and focus on it and understand the demand and the need, it can be created. All our Apple phones are now being manufactured in Chennai.
Even the next version is being...
and exported to all over around the world.
Yes.
So I think the government is doing a lot. It can still do better single window clearance, which is there. And get into really manufacturing. So some of the IIT students and other students I have come across who have come out, who have launched startups for new types of microscopes using your mobile phone instead of a screen, of having a prefixed screen. You see some of the bikes, which are the e-bikes, where you can put your phone at the dashboard and it will give you your speed and indication of how charged your vehicle is, battery operated. So using one device for multiple users. So it's all question of having innovation. I think Indian companies, including our company, should invest minimum 10% towards research and innovation and attracting students. We have to make research and innovation sexy. Right, so everyone can't be in just running operations. People who have got a calling towards research and innovation should spend their time in a tinkering lab. We have the Untitled tinkering labs, but that's at the school level, and really come up with the products. And we need sort of venture capitalists to fund these innovations, because to come up with a really good innovation can take couple of months to couple of years also. It could be even a decade, right? And to fund it, because it's going to help humanity as a larger picture.
On an immediate basis, for us to move forward with the hardware technology and the infrastructure progress, what are some key points or key requirements that are there that can aid or accelerate the process?
I think good and healthy competition is definitely things amongst the students. So a lot of the college projects, cut, copy, paste from earlier projects or downloaded from the internet. Or buying projects also. But really, if the students are encouraged, having 600 students in one, set of class or divisions. So taking a few of the people, like they used to be Makers Asylum in Mumbai, but it is moved to Goa, where for a long, you got the best tools and hardware to innovate and make something and tinker around. So that itself, having Makers Asylums, which is a USA concept all across our country.
Can you just share a little bit more about what it is?
Makers Asylum is a large space in which youngsters, both boys and girls, are encouraged to come and innovate. They got 3D printers and a lot of other instruments, soldering irons, shared resources. But all the hardware you require. And there is always definitely peer ideas and peer sharing which happens when you create it. And really, some of there are professors, but who really get into a lab. So having very close mentorship and a mentee and working together on projects is definitely going to help, and I would encourage them. Already with the 7th Pay Commission, our professors are being paid quite well. The problem of salaries which we faced in the 4th and 5th Pay Commission has been taken care of, and you can get fulfillment by teaching and by helping that. Even in our company, we have got different age group of people. We have a lot of youngsters at 24, 26, 28 working. We have people 35, 38, 40, and then we have another gap of 55, 60, 65-year-old people also working in a company. So that sharing, if you're not humble, you'll stumble. Asking questions, getting consensus, debating, healthy debates will really help in getting a product. And I think the best innovation comes from end users. When you put your product out there, don't think we have done it all. Really going out and meeting the end users, getting a feedback from them. So that is what we do, participate in a lot of continuous education and training. In Lawrence and Mayo, I have told you we've got 6 training centers. I traveled with my boys in the field, on their bikes, meeting end consumers. But, like that is how the idea of a digital microscope emerged. Using because if everything is going digital, your mobile's going digital, your classrooms are going digital, why can't the microscope be digital?
Yeah.
So why do you need...
and with AI models coming in, it's become much more easier, and the insights are so much.
Right, absolutely. So we are, I think, plateauing out on industry 4.0, and we'll be moving towards industry 5.0 definitely. And some big innovations are around the way, and things are going to really happen. But what it requires is patience and perseverance. If you want something too fast, I have seen many times technology is being abandoned. Right, where technology comes, but if you don't have enough of adopters, then that entire time of that those innovators or inventors has gone waste. So coming out with a technology which is not there. I would like to take you to way back to the 1960, Rohan, and tell you about the Jaipur foot. So the inventor of the Jaipur foot, and it's named after a doctor in Jaipur. He realized getting an artificial limb from the US was going to cost 2,20,000, 2,40,000, and how many people in the 60s or 70s could afford that? It was impossible. The price was too high. So he brought a prototype and he indigenized it and made it.
Yeah.
So when we talk about indigenized, it is always the word jugaad comes in, right?
True.
So jugaad is like a temporary solution.
Yeah.
Right, it has got no lasting. It is a temporary solution for yourself.
Yeah.
But mass scale jugaad is basically making a new product.
Absolutely.
Coming out with a new product.
Yeah. It brings me to a question. Like, we see innovation happening on two sides. One is adoption.
Yes.
Where we are seeing that something is done in the West, and we try to find a jugaad, as we put it, that makes it indigenized. The second is we find a new solution for that. We see a lot happening on the first part, where we are seeing an Indian version of a specific product. Like Uber's Indian counterpart is Ola.
Right.
So in this scenario, in this way, do you think this is also equally important, or we need new solutions to come up?
I think India is a unique country. We are 28 states, 8 union territories. We have been doing recycling since ages of our plastic bags, and we have to push it up further and other things like that. So we are great inventors, innovators ourselves. Yes, we can take some inspiration from the West, and the West takes so much inspiration from us. Just look at our package products now. Our idli mix, ID has become such a big company. Not only makes the idli batter and the dosa batter is made filter coffee, it's exporting it and all that. The first mover advantage in this was the Mahabali tiffin rooms, MTR, which later sold their packaging with a little dahi or culture and little water. You could make a lovely and after steaming it, make a lovely fluffy idli in any part of the world.
Yes.
So a lot of these products come, and it's not, yes, India should try and outshine the other countries, but it's a good healthy competition, and healthy competition always benefits the end user and the consumer of it. So you can get your inspiration from anywhere.
Yeah. It brings me to a very interesting, thought, and it's been an ongoing debate for quite some time now. Let's say there are two identical products.
Yes.
Price point is also similar. What is it that can, trigger a person to use services of B, especially in a B2B space?
It's basically then your product reputation. So what is the meaning of the word brand? Because I'm a voracious reader. So when you have a product, any product, as you say, it's like a Me Too product. Two products very similar. And perception.
Yes.
So, entrepreneurs don't realize this, but whatever they do say, directly or indirectly affects the brands. Even the unsaid words, if they are here just to, maximize profit and give a shoddy product to the consumer, that can be felt.
Yeah.
The way an entrepreneur treats his team members. So that is unspoken language, but inherently gets delivered. We see in the jewelry line, two jewelry shops side by side of each other. and both have some watchmen or Gurkhas opening the door and inviting the customers in. But it is a reputation of what that person remembers of seeing a TVC at home or a magazine or newspaper, or even comments of other family members and well-wishers, whether to go for X brand, go for Y brand. So the word, trust is a tradition. Which a lot of jewelry companies use that word, where they talk about quality and other things like that, which differentiates between one brand to another.
Let's say a new entrant comes in.
Yes.
Similar product, maybe better than that, but still people would prefer the older version.
Not always,
but
yes.
To a certain extent, it is a case. And of course, we are seeing D2C companies coming up and a lot of other companies coming, but specifically in your side where it is very hard to break into because a lot of the work requires high precision.
Yes.
What is something that a young entrant who wants to start a hardware company, something, not on your lines, but something, it could be anything.
No, this recollects, Rohan, you asked a very beautiful question. I met 5 IIT students some time ago, about 5 years ago. Yeah. And what I liked beautifully is that they found it difficult to come. They were from IIT Powai to our office, and we said, let's meet at a co-working space. And what I liked is their professor also came along, who was, it was like an incubating startup. And we discussed it, and the product was, I think, definitely their prototype was quite good. It met our needs, but they wanted us to be just one of their many dealers. They were not willing to talk to us exclusively. And now 4-5 years down the line, we still hear of their brand, and they are doing also similar road shows. They're competing with us, and I feel proud because I knew that company when it was launched, and part of it, and to see that they have grown to this stage. But then after some time, if you want to become a global leader, you need to take funding. You need to think out of first. A lot of Indian entrepreneurs get caught in a city or a state, and they think that is their geographical boundary. Like, just look at your podcast. There's no boundary at all. You're going to go, and I'm sure using with AI, this can be translated into multiple languages: Japanese, Russian, French.
People from Faroe Islands listen to us.
Oh wow! That's something I learned just now. So the world is really becoming more democratic, and we have to push the envelope towards that democracy, right? Of giving people equal chances and opportunities. So really, and there are also getting loans nowadays, getting bootstrapping, getting funds. A lot of schemes and promotions are there. And really, basically, scaling those up and going to the next level. But every mentor you have can take you to a certain level. Then after that, you have to find a next mentor, the next level to pull you up and take you. And you have to have global ambitions.
Yeah, I think it's been a fascinating conversation, and I believe that there's so much to absorb and so much to learn about the world, about the world beyond software, the world beyond glamour. Like, I believe tech has been glamorous because of software.
I forgot to share that if you think about Lynx-Lawrence, it can be done in 5 words. So we are in anything connected with air or wind speed, wind direction.
Okay.
We're connected with solar. We're connected with Mother Earth. So measuring the soil moisture, doing land surveying, flying of drones, training people how to fly drones. We're connected with preserving life, saving lives of human beings. I remember that a school student asked me, what about animals? A lot of our equipment goes to veterinary also. And the last is skilling human beings. So as we have the 5 elements of nature, our company are in the 5 elements of those businesses. So those are the Panch chakras, as we call them. Which we are in, to sum up what Lynx-Lawrence as an engineering equipment and instrumentation division does.
No, that's brilliant. And we have always heard conversations about B2C companies and B2C technology companies, but very rarely we get to hear about a B2B or a B2G company and how innovation is happening. So thank you so much for giving your time and giving us insights into what Lynx does, and as rightly said, Lynx being a very ferocious and a very sharp sighted creature. I believe that you are doing something which is highly precise, and just as this conversation was, I hope that our listeners found the precise goal that they have, or they learned something from this chat. And we would keep coming back with more such insightful conversations and insightful stories about people, about companies, about building legacies. We would keep coming back with more such episodes. Till then, make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you follow Lynx. Make sure you follow Lawrence and Mayo. Make sure you follow Dr. Vivek Mendonsa on LinkedIn, because he's very active and a lot of information that you can learn from him. So yes, let's stay connected and meet us on the next episode of Insightful with Epilogue.
Jai Hind, thank you.